Realtor, lender, lender, realtor.
But not the boring content.
All right, today we want to talk about, or I thought it'd be nice to talk about, what are some tough things we are dealing with in our current market? Like, what
Where do
are
we get
some,
started?
Yeah, right? It sounds like this would probably be like part 4, 5, 6, 7. I skipped 1, 2, 3, all that above.
Yeah.
But I thought, because I know I've been texting you, like complaining about trying to negotiate for buyers and unrealistic sellers.
Yeah.
I know you just mentioned refinances.
Yes.
And insurance policies that we're just talking about. So I thought some things that we are dealing with right now, that's some obstacles we have to overcome.
Yes.
You wanna go first?
Sure. Yeah. We obviously the market in itself is a huge obstacle.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how to navigate it. Obviously, you have things sitting for a long time. You have things that are moving quickly in like very small specific areas. It's just like bizarre.
It's a bipolar market.
It is so bizarre. Yeah. And you know, one of the biggest challenges that we've been seeing on our side recently is obviously rates have gone down a little bit. We're getting an influx of refinances.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are refinancing have bought within the last 2.5 years, right? Because
Can you deep dive into that?
yeah, so
We understand it, but I'm sure a lot of people don't.
so basically the second half of 2022 is when we saw rates really start going up. So anyone that bought really before that is going to be like sub 4% or 4% rate. And then you're going to start getting into some 5s. And then of course, 2023, 2024, and now it's like people are anywhere between a high 6 and a high 7, basically.
Right.
So, you know, where rates have gone now and some of these incentives and stuff, we are able to get people in the very low 6s or the high 5s, depending on programs, loan value, stuff like that.
Yep.
But we have been seeing some pretty brutal appraisal values come in,
Yes.
which has really been hindering
We had
people
one.
wanting to refinance. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had one. It's just a challenge because people, when they refinance, right, the goal is to save money. They don't want to come out of pocket to refinance, right? And so what happens when these values aren't hitting, then there is not enough equity in the house to roll in costs for the refinance.
Right.
So
That makes sense. Yeah, we had one recently, and I think we'll do another video talking about that deal. You know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That came in 25K short.
Yep.
25K short, and it had a 10,000 closing costs tack on it. And he had the buyers, my listing, he had the buyer connected with them. So yeah, anyway, I'm so reluctant. That's what we did for tea and coffee at a coffee shop. Anyways, but so yeah, that's definitely a tough one. I know you're dealing with that. I let you deal with the headache.
Yeah.
The headache I'm dealing with is I feel like it's just a constant uphill battle.
Yeah.
For buyers.
Yeah, there's always something
Because
going on.
We've got high rates, we've got high prices, we have unrealistic sellers.
High insurance.
And high insurance. So it's like, so most people might think about hear all those things. They're like, why are we buying? Because somebody commented on our video. We're on TikTok now. by the way. So we're on TikTok now, people. But anyway, somebody commented on it and said something about like the market's going to crash. You hear that a lot. I think it proves that the market, people are still buying.
Yeah.
But at the right price. Right.
And people will always buy, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those markets, I think, right now where if you're in a comfortable position financially, this is the best time to buy. Because once you see those rates go down is when you really see the values go up in the property. So obviously, you know, you always hear people say, I want to time the market. There's no timing the market, right? I saw something crazy a couple days ago that was like, if people waited until rates dropped to buy a house, they wouldn't have bought a house from like 1990 through like 1998 or something crazy like that, right?
So the rates were, because my in-laws bought their first house at 16%.
Yeah. So there's no timing the market. I think, you know, obviously when it comes to buying a house, it's just whenever it's right for you.
Right. Now I will say, so obviously with the lender, we talk a little bit more on the buy side, and I made a video this weekend about, you know, if you are serious about wanting to sell your home in today's market, if you're a seller, it's just about being realistic. So when I say like the uphill battle, what I'm feeling is a lot of buyers are like, for instance, I texted you about our buyer last night. We go and look at one and it's just so overpriced. It just makes no sense. And so, you know, I tell our buyers, you know, our first hurdle is obviously get under contract with terms that make sense for you. But it's like, when I say overpriced, I'm talking about $30,000.
Yeah.
So in
crazy.
a seller's mind, they're like, I'm going to lose $30,000, but it's not valued at that, right?
Yeah.
So like the one we looked at last night, they listed at $495. There was one that just sold 3 houses down in their neighborhood for $470, better than theirs.
It's crazy. And that goes into maybe the new thing. Like, it looks like a pretty new house.
Yeah.
So it's like, if those people bought and that are selling it now in the last 3 or 4 years, right? They have to price it at a point to where they want to at least make money.
Well, that's a whole
even
other
if the
issue,
market
though.
doesn't
They
say.
didn't, because I can look at when they bought it. They didn't. They bought it when it was $278,000, $300,000.
Oh, so they're just trying to...
So try to make it look pretty pretty. And that's fine. I get that. I would try to do the same too. But at the end of the day, you have to be realistic, right? Because you need a buyer to sell your home. So that's just something that I feel like we're dealing with a lot of uphill battles, and we've gone to battle mode.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
We're just talking about today how we're just exhausted. And I made a video about it last week.
Yeah, even a clean file that comes in, right? It's just a challenge, because then you look at, insurance premiums right now. Obviously, DFW is like one of the most challenging markets in the entire country when it comes to insurance. We're dealing with right now, trying to get some insurance in line for someone to cash flow on an investment, essentially. And, it's a landlord policy, and apparently they're not good right now, right? Just another thing.
You had a roof replacement in May this year that they get a good rate or whatever discount. And so, we checked in with the insurance agent. They're like, this is just the policies right now.
Yeah.
That's out of our control. So anyways, that's some uphill battles that we are dealing with. That doesn't mean it should scare you from buying. But if you're a seller listening to this and you want to sell your home, just take some of those considerations in.
Just the reality of our world right now.
To get you to the finish line. See you next week. Or next episode.
Next episode.
Because we post 3 times a week. Bye.